So now, let this be a warning to Camia, or any other sibling race.
I run out into the gardens in the direction of the amphitheater. I just catch sight of Amicus's tail as it disappears around some trees down the trail that leads to where Cato should be.
We will not hesitate to eliminate you if you meddle in our matters.
There's a sense of finality to those words, and I know that we're out of time. I'm on the path to the amphitheater, and though it only takes me a few seconds to make it to the end, it feels like an eternity.
You are on the right path.
I burst through the clearing of the amphitheater just as I hear Amicus yell,
"Stop!"
I look down into the steps to see my wolf standing at the base of the stairs, his paws out wide, standing in front of Neferu and Cato. The jackal has knelt on the ground, his paws restrained behind his back somehow, a look of dazed disbelief on his face. His face is forced to look up because Cato has a hold of his head fur, tilting the jackal's head up so that his neck is fully exposed. In Cato's other massive paws, a shiny gold decorative dagger. It's just a few inches away from Neferu's neck. Meanwhile, directly across from me, sitting in front of the statue of Drusus, sits Virginia, a wreath of flowers on her head, looking shocked as she stares at her brother.
I challenge you, Cato! I challenge you to a trial by combat for the throne, as is my birthright!
Oh, there's the... oh, shit! It's always hard to judge Cato's facial expressions, but I can see the tightness in his jaw all the way from up here.
Who?
Cato glances upward, and for a moment I wonder if somehow he knows I'm there, that he can see me. But then I notice the camera drones hovering overhead, broadcasting this to all of Adastra. The entire Empire is seeing this.
Why don't we wait until this is finished, Amicus? It would be wise to stay your paw, Cato, unless you're afraid you'll lose the trial.
The corner of Cato's scarred eye twitches. I can tell then that Amicus is playing this all up to the cameras, and that seems to settle it for Cato. With a grunt, he pulls Neferu up to his feet by his head fur, making the jackal wince before shoving him toward the front seat where Neferu slumps down. Then the old wolf walks past Amicus, setting the dagger down on the long, curved bench as well, across the aisle from Neferu.
You know what, Amicus? I think you're right. This is something we should do immediately. We don't want to leave the Empire in limbo for any longer, do we?
Amicus watches the other wolf wearily as he walks around him to stand in the center of the amphitheater.
It's best to settle everything as soon as possible.
I know that Cato's referring to all of us. Cassius, Virginia, Neferu, me. And I'm sure Amicus does too, because he glances back up at me for just a moment.
Then let us settle it!
Slowly, there should be some more fucking
dun 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 dun.
Some fucking something more than awkward nature sounds, please. Slowly, I start to make my way down the steps, glancing over at Virginia to see that she's sitting up completely straight, staring at Cato and Amicus, her paws clenched in her lap. I move toward Neferu, who's sitting on the front bench, hunched over a bit. I can see metal glinting where his arms are held back.
All right, then. Trial by combat. Simple pug new with no weapons. Just teeth and claws.
Cato stretches.
I'll give you the advantage of sight, Amicus. There should be no trouble for you at all, eh?
Even though that's true, Cato still seems very, very confident. And he has every right to be, considering his skill at fighting along with the fact that Amicus has been locked up for several days in a cramped cell. He probably only said that to increase the humiliation if Amicus loses. If he dies. Suddenly I start to feel the dread and terror begin to poke through the numbed shock I've been feeling. But somehow Amicus looks completely calm, and I take some sort of comfort in that. Quietly, I sit down next to Neferu and he glances over at me.
Oh, William, what brings you here?
Though his words are casual, his usual smug demeanor is gone, practically blanked out as he sits there, slightly hunched. Are you okay? I whispered to him, and Nefer takes that as a cue for me to do so as well. Jackal shrugs his shoulders.
Not exactly, no. But I'm alive for the time being, so I suppose that I can't ask for much more.
I look back into the amphitheater, wishing that I were able to do something more. I try to catch Amicus's eye, but he keeps his focus on Cato, his own eyes narrowed. He looks confident, prepared, ready for whatever it is that Cato throws at him. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready at all. That brief interaction in the dungeon, those few seconds of holding on to one another, that could be the last time that we ever... I blink back tears again, knowing that won't do me any good right now.
Are you ready, Amicus? Yes. Then let us begin.
Immediate. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, here comes the fucking... Dun, 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 dun. Immediately, the two wolves begin to circle each other, paws raised up to their chests, open and ready.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
The only difference from past Pug-New fights I've seen is that they're both baring their teeth. Amicus does it in a way that I've never seen before, not even when he was furious. It's vicious, feral, like I've seen wolves do in nature documentaries. Then, they clash! It's so fast that I'm not even able to tell who moved first. One moment they're several feet apart, and the next their paws are clasped together while their jaws snap in the air, both going for the other's throat. Glistening strands of saliva, go ew, as they both bite and block with their teeth, ears pinned back, making hoarse, angry barking and growling noises. It's something I've never seen an Adastra and wolf do. Not even in their fake dramas. It feels raw and instinctual, like it's a part of them, something they try to conceal only to come up to the surface when they're trying to kill. I find myself hugging my chest, feeling as if my heart might explode as I watch Amicus, trying to see if he's hurt, wincing every time I hear the solid thwack of teeth on teeth. Ah! Oh, this is the worst thing! Ah! Might only have lasted a few seconds, I can't tell, but finally Amicus pulls back and Cato suddenly lunges in for the other wolf's neck. Time seems to slow, and for a moment I start to think about what I'm going to do if I lose him. But then Cato's open, fang-filled maw drops down, and so does the rest of him as Amicus sweeps his legs with a powerful kick. Sweep the leg, Johnny! Woo! Cato goes down on his side. Shit! On his side right in front of me, wheezing before Amicus jumps on him, landing on the older wolf with his knees and a fist in the face, punching him. Cato didn't even seem to notice as he immediately grabs onto Amicus, their paws scrabbling at each other as they both try to find a hold. They're at a stalemate for a while, each one failing to find a good grip as they both twist and turn over each other, making snarling sounds all the while. At some points, I have trouble discerning the two, their legs and arms seeming to blend together as they grip around the other's body. This is a real anime battle right here, folks. I was never told much about combat to the death, even when I asked Neferu. All I know is they tend to be very short, and it's already felt like an eternity. Suddenly I'm able to tell them apart as Cato locks Amicus' right arm into a shoulder lock. Oh no! Oh god! While I've seen it done before, usually to get the other opponent to tap out, Cato immediately goes all the way and in the quiet of the early morning he's shattered with a massive pop and crunching sound. Oh god! Okay, they didn't have a sound effect, thank god. He just broke his fucking arm. Amicus screams and I find myself standing without even realizing it. It takes everything I have not to jump in right now, even as Cato leans into the hold, causing Amicus to convulse from the pain. And Cato lets go, and my wolf curls over onto his side, shaking violently, loosely holding his arm with his other paw. Fuck! I want to go to him, but Cato was already there, pushing the younger wolf onto his back.
I should have done this a long time ago, pup.
I knew this would happen. Amicus tries to fight back with his good arm, even his legs, trying to lock his ankles around Cato's neck, but the old wolf straddles Amicus' waist before slamming his fist hard into his nose. There's a softer crunching this time, and Amicus immediately goes limp. Eyes vacant, paw falling to his side. I knew Cato was too skilled for Amicus, but for some reason I thought, these are the events that shall happen. You are on the right path. But am I?
William.
Nefer whispers hurriedly at me. Cato hits Amicus again, even though the other wolf has stopped moving, and Amicus jerks under the weight of the slightly larger wolf.
William, you must run. Cato likely does not know you're here.
Amicus's eyes are half closed, unaware of his last moments, as Cato pushes his rear down on the other wolf's thighs, giving himself more room to reach Amicus's neck.
Run to the city, to the woods, anywhere.
I shake my head silently. Was this really meant to happen? Why was I put on this path if it ended in my wolf's death? Why aren't the parents helping me? At that moment, the light of the setting sun catches something shiny to my left. It's a dagger. I look over and I'm almost blinded by the brilliant reflection of Vita's light on the blade of the dagger. The one that Cato had set aside after almost executing Neferu. Red and blue jewels decorate the handle, while the gold blade shines brighter than any metal I have seen before. The rules don't matter. Robotically, I lean over to the aisle and grab the dagger by the handle.
William.
I ignore Neferu, and at the same time I see Virginia directly across from me. Her eyes are wide, and she's standing too, but instead of looking at the fight, at Cato's jaws coming closer and closer to Amicus's neck, she's instead looking at me and pointing. She's pointing right at Cato, silently encouraging me to do what I'm about to do. But I don't need encouragement. The rules don't matter. I jump from my seat, the distance so little that I come down practically on top of the wolves. At the same time, I raise the dagger in both of my hands over my head and bring it down as hard as I can, into Cato's back. Ah, that got a sound effect? Ah! As if in slow motion, I feel the blade slide into my target. Very easily at first, like cutting through butter. And suddenly I feel something hard. There's an odd, muffled, stuttered sound of friction as the blade slows considerably. It continues to sink in, though, in sudden bursts of a few inches at a time, and it's only when the hilt reaches Cato's fur that I realize that I've cut deep into bone. A rib, maybe. Cato howls, suddenly arching back, and I could only hope I was fast enough that he wasn't able to sink his teeth into Amicus's neck. I'm not finished, though. And I tug once, then twice, before I'm finally able to wrench the blade out of the bone. For that split second, Cato begins reaching back awkwardly, unable to find my weapon before I've drawn it back again, above my head before bringing it down as hard as I can into the right side of Cato's neck. Just at the base. This time the blade sinks in easily. Once again, all the way to the hilt. I yank back once more, intent on plunging it in again, but finally Cato turns on me, blindly swinging his paw out. His fingers find my right forearm as I'm raising the blade once again, and he takes a tight hold.
William!
His exclamation is part astonishment, part fury. His other paw finds the dagger, and even though I try to hold on to it, he slides it out of my hands with ease, even though he's holding on to the blade end. Blood is everywhere at this point. I can only hope it's only Cato's. I start to back away, looking down at Amicus to see what's happened to him. But that's when Cato swings at me again. I feel air tickle my neck and chin. For a moment I think I've dodged his swing. Then I see that he's holding out the blade out to his right after having swung at me. Something's wrong. Something's very wrong. I look down to see a sudden spurt of blood splattering stones below me. Then another splurt. Then another. I step back again and gasp, and when I do, it feels like the air comes down from two places at once. And I cough as something liquid goes down my throat the wrong way. Again, I gasp, and this time I hear a bubbling sound from my throat, and I finally understand what's happening as I raise my hands to my neck, stumbling, then falling. I expect to slam back against the stone seats, but instead it's something furry and warm. I look up and see Neferu sitting over me as he moved to catch me with his lap. He's staring at me with a look of horror on his face. William. He looks up.
Amicus, wake up and help him!
I frown, still worried about Cato, and sure enough, as I look forward, I see the false emperor on one knee, clasping his neck, bleeding just as much as I am. His ears are perked forward, toward Neferu's voice, and I see him start to make his way toward us.
Camion.
Those eyes are wild, furious, focused in the direction of Neferu. He seems to have already forgotten me, even as he seems to realize that he's dying.
You caused this.
I feel that those words, you and this, carry much more meaning for Cato than I could ever hope to know. It's a strange moment as I lay in Neferu's lap, bleeding out. I suppose that Cato blamed the Camions for most of his problems, for most of the problems in the Empire. He tried to hide it by pretending to give Amicus a fair shot at the emperorship. As that slowly unraveled, his intentions became clear, and so did his insanity. He intends to kill Neferu to completely kill any chance of an alliance, even if it means the complete destruction of the Wolven Empire. Somehow that's a risk worth taking for Cato. The old wolf draws closer, practically crawling now, leaving heavy splatters of blood across the ground. He weakly raises the dagger, and I feel Neferu tense behind me, probably getting ready to roll out of the way, and something wraps around Cato's neck. With a gargled choke, Cato is pulled back by Amicus before being body slammed to the ground. Then Amicus is on the old wolf, muzzle against his neck, tearing it apart. I stare in shock and then look down, away from the horror of what I'm seeing. That's when I see myself covered in blood. So much blood. My entire naked torso is painted red, and more of it continues to pour over my chest in waves, though it's less than the initial spurts I'd seen when I was standing up. I raise my hands to my neck, still feeling that strange cold feeling, reaching deep into my throat, like everything's open and exposed to the air. I try to talk, to tell Neferu that I need help, but only a raspy, bubbling hiss comes out of my neck. I look up, seeing Neferu looking down at me, his expression again one of disbelief. I suppose it would be pretty shocking to see your friend with his neck open, dying in your lap. Am I dying? I try to cover my neck again, but the gash is so deep it feels like if I lean too far back, my head will just flop over onto my back. Vaguely I hear Amicus' snarling sounds, along with Cato's raspy screams, sounding just like me when I was trying to talk. The edges of my vision start to go blurry and black, and Neferu's face starts to fade away. And suddenly, there's a big shift, and I wake back up, this time finding Amicus looking down at me. Oh no. Oh man. An overwhelming sense of relief comes over me. I do get to see my wolf after all. I smile up at him, even if he stares at me with a look of complete and utter devastation. No, please! Get Felix! Virginia, tell Alex to get Felix! His tears start to fall on my face, and I reach up, trying to brush them away like he's done to me a few times. He catches my hand before I can, though, pressing it back to my neck. You'll be fine! You're going to be fine! It's not bad! It's not bad! I'm chuckle a little at that, because this is very bad. I can tell without even being able to see it. See the edges of my vision blurring again, and my eyes seem to try and roll upward on their own. The amicus gives me a little shake. That brings me back for a moment.
Hey, stay in there, okay? You'll stay with me, yeah?
I nod deliriously, an overwhelming feeling of calm and warmth keeping me happy, full of love, even though I know that what's about to happen to me. I'm here. I tried to speak, but I only send more bubbling blood out of my neck. Fucking headphones! God damn it.
No, you don't need to talk. I have you.
How unfair. My last moments, and I can't even tell my wolf that I love him. I reach up with my free hand, setting it gently against Amicus's face. I caress his cheek softly, knowingly, and though he holds it against his face with one free paw, with his own free paw, he shakes his head at me.
Stop that. You're going to be fine. Felix will heal you. We'll rest in my room. I'll take you to the island. I'll take you to the city. We'll be happy. We'll grow old together.
The tears start spilling over again, and I just try to keep the smile on my face, showing Amicus that I'm okay, that I'm happy, that this is all okay. And though his grief is hard to look at, there's nothing I'd rather be seeing at the end. My wolf's face, framed by the pinkish reds of the sunset. And then as my eyes start rolling back again, I can't stop them, no matter how hard Amicus shakes me.
Really?
I can't.
William, no, please! Don't leave me here! Please, come back to me! You can't leave me alone like this!
I'm here.
No! Speak to me!
I'm staying with you. There's a lot of ellipses happening. I drift through the blackness, feeling a sense of peace like I've never known before. Even though the space is empty, I feel it crowded with others. So many others. Or is it one other? I sense so many different minds and thoughts melded together as one. Hello. We apologize for what has happened to you. We know that you are confused. We told you that this could be prevented. And it will be. You will not leave him to be alone. Be at peace for now, for he will come for you. Wait for him.
Amicus is the victor. All hail, Emperor Amicus.